Cool, we're going. So this little device is a virtual reality digitizer.
Okay.
And so it's catching the entire room. I don't know how the sound is going to be. We left the windows open, but the glass kind of sometimes resonates. This is Jacinto. He's been a co-host for the show for about a year that we've been discussing. Right now we're going to be doing is a discussion. We're going to have a little audition about who you guys are, see if it's worth it to do an episode. Not even worth it, but more along the lines of it's necessary after this conversation, depending on how it goes. Okay. Maybe some introduction. I met these folks at the pitch and Pop-Tarts?
Pop-Tarts and Pitches.
Oh, yeah, great.
Pop-Tarts and Pitches event at the Ion, which is the building that we're at now.
Right.
This is where we do the shoots for the podcast, but in a different podcast, soundproof room. Today we're doing an audition. So we met these folks. They took the opportunity and stepped a little bit over their, what would we call it, their comfort zone. Filled out the audition slip, and now you're all here. Meeting folks, talking a little bit more about, mortgages, right? And then you guys are from Matador Lending.
That's correct.
I'm really curious about how you guys ended up at the event, the pitches and at the event, the Pop-Tarts and Pitches event that they have.
Yeah.
Actually, go ahead. How did you find it? Did somebody tell you all or what?
So, we work in mortgages.
Yeah.
We first of all want to help everyone get into homes.
Okay.
I think that's where we both find a passion, helping others grow or build wealth through real estate. Okay. So we're always looking to network. And we specialize actually in Matador Lending in self-employed and investor programs.
Okay. Self-employed and investor program.
That's correct, right?
Oh, okay.
So, people who own their own businesses, maybe they don't have the tax returns.
Okay.
That show their income, but they've got bank statements.
Gotcha.
We can definitely get more into detail.
But if you do need tax preps, we do tax preps.
There it is.
Yeah, there's a good connection. That's another reason of whenever we have the conversation of, there's a connection there of a service streamlining that we can help with in these situations.
Yeah.
So maybe like CPA letters or tax preparer letters for the business owners to show like their expenses, right?
Oh, okay.
Like to verify the expenses.
Oh, okay. So you guys are a little bit outside.
They're different. We get creative in different ways as far as financing, but but to answer your question, the Pop-Tarts and Pitches, again, we're always looking to network, number one, and number two, also help people who are in these different situations, different scenarios, get into homes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
They can't always go like the traditional route. So we're like that, I guess, like that's our niche.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Like for those people who can't go the conventional route, they get denied. Yeah, we're here to help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some questions with regards to, I guess, on the if we did an episode, right? We did the podcast room, we set it up. Yeah. What would be like a message that you guys wanted to like some exposure to what? I mean, I understand Matador Lending and you guys are the loans, but what about with regards to the types of loans? What about the interest rate? What not to get into?
Right.
Maybe how to get out of debt faster. I always preach that, things of that nature. What would you guys think about that?
Absolutely. So I think there's different platforms that we work with our own clients. That Matador Lending's actually partnered with. But there are different apps that we recommend to our clients to, number one, monitor the credit score, see what we can work on. And these apps, they allow you to get a mortgage credit score.
Oh, mortgage credit score. Gotcha.
Not just, a consumer report or just a general report. It's actually that mortgage score that we're looking for. And the plus side is that it's not a hard inquiry. So that's something that we...
Oh, it's not a hard inquiry.
Right, which is good, right? Like not everyone's...
Oh, it's like a sample credit score to some degree,
correct.
Not the actual
it's
one.
It's almost like a soft inquiry.
Sure.
It doesn't affect your credit?
It doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, correct.
Right. But it's pretty accurate.
Gotcha. It models it models the credit score companies, what they use, and they put in your stuff and
to obtain a mortgage. Yes,
gotcha.
Specifically for a mortgage.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then as far as like what they need to pay off, since we've been doing it for a long time, we can already kind of tell you like what you need to pay off because we look at the credit report. Okay. And we can tell you like, hey, pay this down. It'll increase the score a little bit more. That could make a significant difference from going from an FHA loan to a conventional loan.
Gotcha.
where you'll be able to put down even less
Okay.
as far as the down payment. So it may take, 3-4 months, but there's no timetable because we try to get you in the right situation. We're not trying to just put you in a loan that doesn't make sense. It has to make
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
There's
so
definitely strategy behind
Yeah.
us finding programs that work specific to the client scenario,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
something, like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is what I have.
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, I think that's a plus that we have as brokers is we have the ability, and we have like partnerships and relationships with different banks where we can actually, we speak to our account executives directly and we're like, I need help on this. How can you help me? How can we make an exception? And that's something I think special about being a broker. But there's definitely strategy behind it. It's not a one size fits all. And like Richard said, that's not what we're doing.
Okay. Okay.
We want to make sure people are comfortable in their homes and, not next year saying, oh my God, I can't pay my mortgage,
Right.
so.
And as far as interest rate, with the climate, how it is right now, the focus is not on interest rate. It's all about the payment that you're comfortable with, right? So we partner with different, insurance reps to get the buyers, the best insurance, like the lowest insurance that's more affordable. And then also when it comes to taxes, we also can advise you can get tax credit, so that can also lower the payment, get you in that box that you want. And then, 6-7 months from now, when the market turns, we can refinance you into a lower interest rate long term. So it's not so much the interest rate because we can't control it. So we have to be creative, different ways to help the homeowners save money on their monthly payments, right?
Yeah.
They turn on the TV, 7%.
What's it at right now? What's in regular? I got 1,000 credit score. How much is it?
1,000. You know what? Just
How much you got?
Depends.
Who's asking?
Depends on the situation.
I'll touch more on what Richard's saying is, like you said, everyone's worried about interest rate right now, but the two things that, when we hear what's the interest rate, it's two things. Are you worried about your monthly payment, or are you worried about the money that you need to close with? And if that's the case, well, then we can figure out how to make either work, what your goals are, right?
I don't want to pay nothing.
Nothing?
I want to pay at least.
Oh my goodness.
You said unconventional loan, right?
Believe, and so that's possible. So there's so
Oh
many.
wow! Look at you. I can do that. I can make you pay nothing.
You can pay them.
Oh wow!
Not nothing. Not
Matador
nothing.
lending.
No, not nothing. Not nothing. Wait a minute. Not nothing, right? And that's I think that's a huge.
Sure. Okay.
Can I bust that myth? There's
Sure.
no way for you to get into a home with 0%.
But the program. But the program. Hey, my buddy, my cousin got into this program. He paid nothing for 10 months. I don't know.
Listen.
That's what I heard. So,
probably not. Your cousin's lying. So
Is that
I'm
right?
sorry.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people think though that you can get into a home with zero money, and that's not the case.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
two major parts to your cash to close, or the money that you need to buy a home. There's a down payment, and then there's your closing costs.
Okay. Down payment plus closing costs.
Correct.
And then your monthly payment after that.
Well, then will be your monthly
Yeah.
payment, right? So what are your goals? Are you worried about the monthly payment, or are you worried about the money that you need right now to close, or out-of-pocket costs, if you will? But the down payment, there is a way to get into homes with 0% down payment. People, I think, fail to remember that there's a second part to the money you need. It's the closing costs. So you still are liable for something.
Well, you can ask somebody to, like the seller, to do some closing costs for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in this market right now,
So
because the interest rates are higher and they're rising, a lot of sellers are being generous and saying, hey, well, I'll help you. I understand that you're going to have to pay more at closing because the interest rates are higher. I'll give you $5,000. Here you go. And maybe that helps your interest rate. Maybe you can buy down your interest rate. Or maybe it just helps with your down payment. You could put 5% down instead of 3%. It's very, very specific. The whole process is very tailored to the client. Maybe 5% down payment doesn't make sense. But again, it's case by case,
Different
100%.
scenarios. That's what it's based on.
Some people think maybe more down payment, I'll have less.
Now,
it's tricky.
I have friends in various professions, because you guys mentioned self-employment and things like that, you know, and a lot of I know friends that are in the that are trainers that sometimes are self-employed, and it's like, oh, okay, kind of have a little bit of a challenge with, you know, having kind of, because they're not W-2s, right? They're 1099s, right? So it's, or they're on themselves, they're self-employed and things of that nature. So it's like, oh, how do I
taxes?
What do I? Well, they do file the taxes, but it's like an amount, and then they have their expenses, and it's like, oh, okay, well, the bank doesn't care about the mileage and this final number.
Do you really make money, right?
Correct. There's other profession, mechanics and things like that. Self-employed mechanics. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of contractors, builders, contractors that are saying, where it's like, hey, no, I get this form that says this much, but then I have this mileage and I have this, and then it lowers it down.
Right.
And then you gotta get creative.
So one of the ways that we get creative, I think Richard Richard specializes, we all have a different niche, but I think it's something he's exploring right now. He can probably speak to it right now. But we do get creative. We have something called the bank statement program.
Bank statement program. Oh, okay.
So if you want to go into detail.
We show you the bank statements and go how much money you got?
Yeah, so it basically,
kind of.
that's really it.
Sounds really
Your true income is going to be reflected on your monthly deposits. So we can either do 12 or 24 months.
Would you guys check on liabilities behind that, or you just go, whatever much is in the bank?
Still do a full.
We still do
check. I see.
Yeah.
But the banks mostly care about, well, if something happens to the house, they know that the person is going to take care of it. So if they get delinquent, they know they have enough funds to bring it back current. So with those loans, they just mainly look at, you know, the monthly income for the 12 months or 24 months. 24 months if you want a better rate, basically. But credit report, just as long as you don't have anything as far as like foreclosures.
Gotcha. And then what kind of down payment would something like that? Would you have to put for something like that?
Those are a little bit more risky. Because it's less paperwork. So it's usually start like at 15, 20%.
So 50%, show me your money in your bank statements, we got your loan.
That's it.
So we average the income through the bank statements if your credit score and history are right.
And usually
that's the simple way.
And usually
right, simple breakdown of it.
Usually with those like self-employment borrowers, their scores are like 680 and up. So you know they're already responsible. They have the ability to repay.
Now you guys mentioned something, the interest, the way that it is right now. How was it before and what is it now? And and then how long ago was it before? You know what I mean? A month ago? So I mean, I understand a month ago was before. I'm referring to like what was the prior condition with interest rate that you guys mentioned? The way that it was, the way that they are now.
So let's just say during COVID, 2020, 2021.
2021. Let's end it at December 31st. Sure.
Okay, so people were still doing refinances. They were still getting really good rates on refinances.
What did those rates look like?
Below 2%.
Oh, below 2%.
I would say the average is probably 2.25% on those refinances, which does amazing. For someone's monthly payment. They kind of never have to refinance again. They'll build the equity faster. They'll pay their loan faster.
I dropped the ball on that one. I didn't do it fast enough.
So a lot of people, and even people who purchased last year, were between 3 and on a high end
4.
Gotcha.
On a high end 4%.
Gotcha.
So.
What about on purchases? Same on purchases or no?
That would be on purchases between 3 and 4%.
Oh, and then the refi to under 2.
And refis were definitely under 3, closer to 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
So in 2021, that's what we were seeing. The housing market was booming, and people knew that the interest rates were lower. So total opposite now. Total opposite. People are seeing higher interest rates, and sellers are being generous and giving credits or lowering their purchase price.
When was this? When did it kind of switch?
All year.
Well, when January started?
Slow,
no,
but
it
steady.
took a peak in March.
It definitely took
in March and April.
Yes. However, but it was a slow raise. Every quarter, right? We had a hike. And
I think many people dive in like, oh, the interest is going up, I gotta buy now.
Well,
and then it was like,
with the media, right? Because then people say, oh, we're in a recession, and it's all media, right? So I think a big part of us is saying interest rate is not your most important factor.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you worried about the monthly payment, or are you worried about the money that you need to close? Right, and
It is kind of, but then it is tied to an important factor based on the value of the house as well.
Right.
So
Well,
it's like, hey, the interest went up and the price of the houses went up. Hey, I'm not going to buy this.
so
You know
last
what I
year
mean?
was the total opposite because the interest rates were really low and people had all this buying power. Sellers were being really greedy and the prices
Hey,
of
you can
homes
buy.
were going up. Here's the thing: people are not going to stop buying homes.
Sure.
People are not stopping investing.
At a slower rate, though.
I'm not an investor. However, my investor clients right now feel like it's Black Friday.
Okay. Because
So-
the loans are still being available, just at a higher
They are
rate.
still available at a higher rate. And to touch on something Richard said earlier, let's say this is a cycle.
Sure.
In the most simple way, this is a cycle. The interest rates are higher to lower the prices of the homes. But something Richard touched on earlier is that if the rates are better in 6 months, 7 months, even a year, you're not accruing so much interest that you can't refinance. If the rates are better, if you get a 6.5% interest rate hypothetically today, and in a year the interest rates are at 4%, if it makes sense, you could refinance. And now you've got a lower interest rate, you've got a lower monthly payment. Ultimately, to refinance, it shouldn't cost you anything out of pocket.
But they'll add that loan back over to the loan, though. Yeah, not out of pocket. And you have to have enough accrued in the house in order for you to be able to not pay.
That's
anything.
correct. So that's why I say if it makes sense, right? If you've built the equity within that 6 months to a year or however soon, if it makes sense, you can definitely refinance and save some money.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. These are all discussions about the current state of interest rates, how it's affected the real estate market, where we were last year, and what's happened now. Would you say countrywide, Texas-wide, or countrywide?
Countrywide.
Countrywide, right?
Absolutely.
Right, countrywide. So countrywide increased interest rates, which has kind of, it was in a peak with regards to real estate. Would you say it plateaued a little bit, or still kind of up, or kind of downwards? What are you thinking?
No, I think
still up or
we're-
down?
I think we're still going.
Are the loans
we're not
going up?
gonna
Are you
crash.
borrowing more money? No,
I am still making good money.
No.
Richard's
I
making
know.
great money.
Meaning, are the loans that are coming in
Yes.
high because the houses are still being higher priced, or the houses or the loans coming in? You know what I mean?
I think it's fair right now. Last year we saw a lot of offers being beat because there were so many offers.
Yeah.
I think that slowed down a little bit.
Gotcha.
However, the rate that homes are being purchased is
Gotcha.
maybe slowed a little bit, but business is good. So people are still buying homes.
In this market, it's more of the first-time home buyers that are probably like,
Oh, I see.
because it's like they may not have the funds right now, so they went back on the sidelines, just kind of waiting. But investors, they're really just like ruling the market because they don't really care about what the interest is, because on those loans anyway, the interest rates are high.
Gotcha.
So it just we have to kind of look to see, like, does it make sense with their bottom line, right?
Okay.
So right now, it's a good market for them,
Gotcha.
not for first-time home buyers,
Gotcha.
which is understandable.
Gotcha.
But they will be back.
Commercial. You guys do commercial loans also?
We're able to.
Yeah.
We focus kind of on
Personal?
residential
I gotcha.
loans,
Gotcha.
but it's definitely something that we're able to do.
We're all
and
about
not against.
we're all about entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
commercial and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I mean, it opportunity for commercial, I think, gives more probability of creating revenue for later, as opposed to in a house, which is you can do that out of the house, a nice house, but there's and it's to live in. There's no more typically you can get out of
So
it.
commercial loans are very different than a mortgage.
Okay. Right.
A residential mortgage.
Sure.
In the sense, it's kind of like we have a program for investors on residences. It's called the DSCR.
Okay.
And what that does is qualifies the property based off of the market rent, what you might make in rent. And so that's how commercial loans work. Where I'm gonna buy this entire building, and each unit might rent for this much, and that's the risk.
Okay.
So I'm putting this money up. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Commercial loans are a lot different in that sense.
Yep.
A lot more risk.
And less paperwork.
For sure, less paperwork, but
Yeah.
it's a different game definitely than
Yeah.
residential mortgages. Yeah.
What did you have some questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know more about the numbers are always there. The numbers bore me, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd like to know more about y'all as people.
Mhm.
So, are y'all realtors?
So we're loan officers.
You're loan officers.
We deal with the finance side of the
Okay.
real estate.
And
Mhm.
the company itself has been around since 2019. Is that right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I was looking at is this chart here, the differences between y'all big banks
Yeah.
and the traditional mortgage company.
Mhm.
So my question is, as a person coming from the street or like a first time home buyer,
Yeah.
what specifically differentiates y'all from the big banks and the traditional mortgage company other than the things here?
So, like it said right there, we work with 50 plus lenders.
Mhm.
So, depending on your scenario or situation, we'll be able to find a lender that's willing to work based on like your type of scenario. You probably won't find that like at Chase, right? Because they'll probably just go off just the one guidelines that they've been
What
using.
they have available,
But the lenders that we work with, they have like different guidelines. That's why we ask like, what is like your scenario, what you're trying to do, and we try to fit you in that box. And then we also shop for the best rates. We can get you lower rates as well. But that's really it, because the situations that I run into is mainly people who are like, for investors, they don't have like, they got tax issues. One of my clients came from Chase. He was a private client, but he always talked about, well, my taxes is not looking right. My taxes is not looking right. Well, I found a lender that fit his type of scenario that he's trying to do, which is avoid the taxes, but he has everything else. So it just depends like what the situation is. You have, buyers out there that have a low credit score. I have lenders that go down to 500, right? Nobody out there probably is willing to work with them, right? So it just depends. That's why we shop around and we ask questions up front, of your situation, and we try to fit you in that box to make it work. So that's the life of a broker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say to add to Richard just about him specifically, I mentioned we all kind of niche in different areas, and Richard niches in investor programs. So that's something when I have these kinds of files, I kind of, refer to him and like, hey, what do you think about this? Not that I don't have that knowledge, but he may know more detail about these programs. For myself, I think the service, that's what's different about me, and that's what you're going to get. Each of our loan officers are very different. Again, niche in their own areas. For me, it's service. I like to talk to people. I want to make sure that nobody wants a mortgage. One of our mentors and actually our broker always says no one wants a mortgage. They just want the house, right? And so for me, it's a matter of gaining that trust from my client and making them comfortable, right? This is not fun, but I'm here and we can be honest. And again, I want to know your goals. I want to know the truth. I need to know how to put you into a home and so that you're comfortable. I would say that's what differentiates each of us.
So what is the? I'm glad you said goal. What is the goal of this company? I mean, because you could easily go online and search if you really had the time to search all those things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned the company's been open since 2019. However, our mentor, our broker, who's very, very active in each of our businesses, he's been in business and been doing mortgages and in the real estate industry for over 20 years. So while the company is new, he's actually been in the business. He's been originating. He still originates. So he has, I'd say he has as far as an impact on us and the company, it's, he plays a good middle ground, right? He understands the leadership part and executes that very well, I'll say. But he still also understands like the footwork. He's still on the ground, building the same way we are. So while it says 2019, that's a big thing. Because you can go online and look at our reviews and stuff. And but that I would say sets us apart. I forgot the question.
Your mission. So like, what is the mission of the company? I mean, you say you work with people in different situations. So I mean, obviously you're here to help low income people. You're here to help people with. Absolutely. So what is the overall goal?
But that's so what we specialize in. I think we maybe mentioned it earlier is those self-employed and investor programs. Self-employed specifically, everyone owns their own business right now. Everyone's contracted right now.
Not everyone owns their own business, but we're trying to get there.
Right? Well,
that's our goal.
It's a big thing right now, right? Everyone kind of, or I would say, I would hope everyone would want that goal, right? To work for themselves.
We're actually on the same page about that thought process.
Yeah.
We are hoping that everybody wants to own.
Right, we think so.
Yes,
and well, that's where we find an obstacle is those specific people who have 1099s or maybe get paid in cash. Nail salon techs, beauty techs, those kinds of professions. Those are the people that for a very long time have thought, well, I don't have tax returns, I don't have the proof that I can pay this, but I can. Those are the people we really try to touch and educate them that it is possible.
A lot of our subscribers, and we've actually had a networking event based off of it just because of our subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
I'm pointing at the camera.
That was awesome.
Is cryptocurrency.
Okay, yeah.
So how does that factor into considering someone for a house?
It's an asset, right? Yeah. So as long as we can prove that it's a tangible asset, it can be.
You can use it.
But it's extremely variable. I mean, it's extremely hyperbolic. I mean, in seconds it could change.
So how what do you have at the moment, right? Because for me, it's. Do we have enough money, or for us when we're evaluating a file, is do you have the money to close? What can you get now?
At that, but what I mean is because I could look at my phone right now and see that my crypto has changed thousands of dollars within the last in the conversation that we just had.
Yeah.
So what would be that? Where is that timestamp for all right? Do you have the money at this date at this time, or is it right now you have the money? How does that? Because it's so fluid, cryptocurrency.
So typically, to get into a home, you just need 1% of your purchase price to get into contract.
Okay.
So it's $100,000 home. You need $1,000 just to get into contract. If you can show me you've got $1,000 to get into contract now, I can pre-approve you, and show me some sort of promise or confirmation that you will have the funds to close by the time your contract is up. Typically, residential contracts are 21 to 30 days.
What sort of promise do you need?
How are you going to liquidate that? How do you plan to liquidate this money? How do you plan to provide these funds? So while that may, be volatile and it's going up and down just within our conversation, how can you prove to me that you will have these funds? That's why crypto is so interesting. I have friends who are millionaires because of crypto. And in the last year, things have changed dramatically. But they pulled their money out, and they, so smart investing can get around those things. But I do know there are some people, and especially going into the future, there are going to be people who are straight crypto from the get, right, from the beginning. Which we see it already, right? Like restaurants and not in our business, but we see that in other businesses, right? I've seen vendors accept crypto as payment. I've seen people liquidate their crypto and use those funds and provide maybe some sort of statement, that shows the funds are available.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you lose the funds or they decrease within your contract, it's I don't know, it's up to you to find the funds. I hate to say it that way because it's so blunt. But mainly my job is to help you get ready.
No, that's okay, because people who are involved in
the way that the world is working, that crypto will probably be acceptable in transactions. I'm sure on private deals people accept it, cash deals.
And it just depends on the lender as well. And that's what
we
have those conversations.
Got the crypto lender? You guys got the crypto lender?
Well,
you know what?
If that's really where most of your assets is, then you just have to let me know, and then I can explain the scenario to the lender, then we can navigate and see how we can make this thing work. So it's more of like a conversation. So in the beginning, you tell me what your scenario is.
I got nothing.
And then
How long would it take for zero crypto to turn into $1 million?
Nothing.
Zero crypto to $1 million.
Let's do the math.
They're going to take a long time.
Well, it's funny, but
I got time.
it's funny, and we laugh. But we have clients that say, "I don't have any money to close," and I think still we get creative. USDA is a great way to have a 0% down payment. And again, in this climate, in this market, maybe the sellers want to pay all your closing costs.
Yeah.
But it definitely, matters who you work with. Realtors, those are our best friends in this business. And a lot of people, I think, diminish their work and say, like, they're kind of just the middleman. They just find the houses. But they do a lot of meticulous work. I think a lot of work that I don't have the patience to do. So definitely matters the realtor that you're working with. Are they going to find you a property that's going to grow or, gain equity? Does it make sense?
I mean, what I just heard was, I like helping people, but I ain't got no patience.
I work on my finance.
As long as I got people who got their stuff together, I got plenty.
You know what? They do a lot of again, meticulous work, tedious work even. Props to them.
I'm here for you. Listen.
I'm good on this side.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Right. And
I ain't got patience for that. I like it.
I'm here when you're ready.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have a question for Mr. Campbell.
Yeah.
So, y'all didn't know I knew his last name, huh? You're like, wait, what?
Oh, you're on the website.
Yes, I know. I'm cheating. How does one become? I was just looking at y'all's information. How does one become a senior loan officer?
Well, you got to be like doing this for like a while. For them, it's been like 3
these
years.
folks, seniors.
Yeah, they've been doing it
folks.
for like 10 plus. So they're very seasoned. They've been through the ups and downs. So they're closing deals like every month, like 5-6 deals, and you know what you're doing. So that's how you get the senior tag.
How long have y'all been
It's
in?
the volume, yeah.
Yeah.
How long have y'all been in the game?
For me, it's 6-7 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun.
But I've been in the industry for 10 years. I just
Okay.
was working on the other side, doing foreclosures and bankruptcies, short
okay.
sales. So, but I've been licensed for 4 years.
Tired of taking all these houses.
Yeah.
So I went on the other side, and I'm helping you get the houses. So,
Yeah.
But I understood the business already.
Gotcha.
So it was an easy transition for me.
What made you decide to transition?
That's been the goal the whole time.
Okay.
I see that I love helping people.
I gotcha.
But also income did play a big part in that too. I saw that I could make a lot of money because I was good at doing what I was doing. So if I can help people and there's a passion there for me already and I'm able to make a lot of money doing it, it made sense for me to just go that route. And long-term goals and things like that, this profession is going to help me get there. So it's not just about the money, but what I'm trying to do long-term as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool.
How about you?
I'm going to piggyback off of that. I've been doing mortgages, so I've been licensed for 2 years now. I started a few years back. I was an office manager at a real estate brokerage and just kind of made my way to the mortgage side. I got recruited by our preferred lender and found my passion. Well, actually, I started as an office manager there at the mortgage office. And same thing, kind of just saw, I was, introduced and exposed to the industry and kind of working on files here and there. And I saw the money and I was like, wait a minute, I do all the work. But where I really found my passion is helping people. I've always worked in customer service, bars and restaurants, retail. I worked for a bank one time, So I've always been in customer service, but that's where I found my passion. I wasn't taught anything about finances. I think like most of us growing up, we don't have that education or even know that these things are possible. Excuse me. So when I got licensed and realized like, oh my goodness, we could all do this. Like, it's possible. But that's where I find my passion also, putting people in positions where they can accrue wealth ultimately. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I think if you that cliche of if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. It's a cliche because it's true.
Yeah, 100%. And I say that and I laugh to myself sometimes. I'm like, it's so corny, but it is. Yeah. There's so much truth in it. Yeah.
I hate everything I do. I'm working all the time. I hate.
I mean, you help people though, man.
But I love helping people. You see what I'm doing? I hate working.
This guy's the ultimate people person. Let me tell you something about it. It's something amazing about Roberto. He doesn't even get excited about sports like typical guys do. Yeah. But when he comes around with all of us and we're watching sports, for him it's more like, oh, this team's winning. I'm excited too. I'm excited. He's more about the energy.
I can relate.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we've gone through, I would say, a reasonable amount of information with regards to who Matador Lending is, and what you guys do, your experience, what your perception is with regards to loans, the market, and things of that nature. Yeah. I think what we'd like to take is the rest of the time. We got about 13 more minutes to explain kind of who we are.
Yes.
And then maybe try to coordinate. See if once we go through the footage and go, hey, do we want to do like an episode where we're blasting out, where it's like a couple of topics that we typically wouldn't talk about loans for an hour.
Yeah.
We would talk about a little bit of history, your school, where you came from, how your education, kind of things of that nature, the path that you took.
Yeah.
We would also talk about something that's on the news.
Current events.
Okay. In Houston. We'll talk about current events, things of that nature. We'll do a shout out. We'll do a quick shout out, right? The shout out is quick, like 30 seconds. Yeah. And then after that, we're talking current events. And
then we have some sponsorships that we give to so we're going to do some segments. Right. Have y'all had a chance to look at one of our podcasts?
I haven't seen it yet. I kind of went through the website the day we met.
Okay, take a look at one of our more recent ones because that's when we're.
Do you guys have your phones with you now?
Okay. Yeah.
So we're gonna share with you guys. We're gonna share with you guys some information of who we are. That way, whenever we go through the back and forth of like setting up this episode, you guys can have a little bit of feedback and go, this is a good topic to talk about. A news article that could be related to loans. Then something is happening. Okay. And then we'll talk about everything else that's around that topic. You know what I mean?
Pull up your YouTube.
Yeah.
If you have the app, or
a huge thing that we could probably speak about if we take it further.
Sure.
Is just infrastructure. Everything right now is
100%.
focused on infrastructure.
Well, that's our whole goal. Our whole goal in it is to provide information from various perspectives.
Yeah.
And that's why we love to have people from all walks of life in our podcast. We've had comedians, data scientists. I mean, all kinds of things. But we'll tackle real life situations from different points of view, and that's what I think is most effective. So on YouTube, type in all one word, the Premium Advantage.
The Premium Advantage. Okay.
Yeah, that's it right there. All one word. And it'd be great if you could subscribe to our channel.
I'm already subscribed.
Oh, boom! Ahead of the game already.
Yeah.
There it is. Got it.
Yeah, and so our more recent ones, these are we're going over stuff on the World Cup.
Yep.
And then we had I don't know if you know a Houston rapper named Fat Tony. Where's his episode? Right here. That's our most recent long podcast because we've been shortening them to kind of tackle just key points. But the Fat Tony one is going to give you a better idea what kind of episode we're going to be doing with y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So right now, what we're doing is we're testing pretty much the whole aspect of the YouTube. What would you call it? Platform. Mm-hmm. Platform, meaning what kind of videos, the length of the videos, what type of videos. Right now, so we're involved in two general long series, I would say. One is our episodial series, which right now we're in episode 20. We're in the 20 series. We haven't gone through the 21 series. We're like at 20.1. We're at 20.3. Keep the shorter ones. Yeah. And then we've added a second layer of series, which is through the World Cup. Okay. So as we go through the internet, essentially that is us catching up on the World Cup, soccer itself.
And the big one that separates us that we're trying to do and be, we've said this before, but we really mean it, to be the first podcast on the metaverse is using the VR equipment.
Correct.
So all the VR equipment, we're the only ones that you can
use. There's nobody that is using this equipment.
So that you can move around.
Oh, that is so cool. And that's what this is.
And that's what this is here.
That's so
cool. People can move around, and then we're going to have, so you can click on sponsorships, right? So we'll have a link to you, so they can just, like, right over your head as it happens, you know, as you talk about something, it pops up. Right?
It's a little dark. I think we dim the lights a little bit, and it's kind of blurry. But
that is really cool, though.
Yeah.
So this is the experience.
See, like that's my logo right there over my head, right there.
Yeah.
You know, so stuff like that. And as we're getting better and better at it, it's going to be special. But when we have y'all ever used? Really cool. Have you ever used Oculus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Oculus, when you go to your YouTube app on your Oculus and you watch one of our episodes, it takes it to a whole new level.
Correct.
Like
I can imagine
you're literally, you can like oh yeah, like get in people's faces. You know, so
this logo,
yeah,
placement of information, different experience that a person. This is a virtual reality experience as opposed to the 2D experience, which would be like this.
Right. This.
Right.
Wow.
You get and people.
But we do both so that folks who can do both.
It sounds better. We still
not everybody has Oculus yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry. So we're able to gather the content in 2 ways. So now we're testing the additional feature of the whole thing, which is posting the same episode twice and seeing like which one is
more successful.
Correct. Right now,
interesting.
Not close. This is kind of expected, but as we kind of grow more and things of that nature. So
that's really cool.
Some episodes thank you. Some episodes will only be in virtual reality, by the way. Because of the nature of where we are. So we don't have to have more equipment and things like that.
Yeah, and the podcast studio is really nice, so you can see all those albums behind us and everything. It's a really cool place to have people look around.
Talking into the equipment is a big thing, so that like this, right? Don't forget, this is the audience, so this is who we're going to be talking to. Right now, we're talking to us. A lot of times, you want to talk to the audience during the episode, right? Okay, so that's one layer. Now, we can include your logo on this one, right? If we do the episode and all that stuff in a similar way. Okay.
Yeah.
There's additional sponsorships potentially available. If you go to your back, you go, hey, we're gonna do an episode. They offered us to be on more episodes. Meaning put a logo, mention that we're gonna be a sponsor. So whenever we typically do it is, we have a sponsor or a shout out to Matador Lending who was in this episode, blah blah.
Right.
Get you back to referral and things of that nature. You go, okay. Right. So that there would be a cost associated with that for us to keep going and doing that. So keep that in mind. This is one nature of engagement. Not just the episode, but we're gonna add several layers for Matador Lending in themselves and loans. Okay, gotcha. So that's layer one, which is the podcast, right? You guys decided to take the lunch. Doesn't cost anything for that. So you can go. How much more can we engage? Okay, this is a brunch comedy show. Okay, that we are promoting. Okay, now this one here, you can be part of the audience, so you can invite folks that you know to be part of the audience. So they would click here, or you would click there for them if you're like, I want to have some people over, and you go. And the next one that we have scheduled is Sunday, December the 18th. Okay, this will be our 4th episode. We've recorded 3 episodes. Okay. So here, I think the tickets cost $50 or $40.
It's 40.
$40 per entrance, which it gets you the food, it gives you some drinks, it gives you tickets so that you can go in there, have a good time, be entertained during Sunday brunch time. It's the holiday time, so this is going to be very, very energetic. A lot of opportunity to bring a fun client or something like this, or yourself or whatever. Right? So it's an opportunity to engage. Now, there are opportunities for you to audition if you're a comedian or something like this.
Cool.
If you want to be a comedian or you want to be something like this, we're all going to be holding, similar like we're holding an audition here with y'all. Right. This is getting spread out through a different team.
So if you know any musicians or artists, poets, and magicians, anything, we're willing to listen to them and promote.
Yes. Right. So this is going to get launched at the dashboard as well as the podcast one. So we have the 2 audition types, which is audition for the podcast business, things like that, and then audition brunch comedy show, where that will be at completely different level of engagement, because that can put your logo on the TV, on HMS, potentially Roku, depending on the correct. So then that will go your commercial, and then it's Matador Lending, and then things of that nature. So it's not just stuck to the episode, and then you can add another layer of communication. And then when folks go to the shooting, and put branding on the shooting. We can have a material, pen, whatever, bag. We can have little baggies and things of that.
Right on the table, as soon as they sit down.
So they can take that home.
QR codes.
Yeah, QR codes, correct. Things of that nature. Okay. So this is an additional layer that you guys have an ability to engage with. Oh, you know what? We did the episode. Let's see. Oh, by the way, the plans that we have here on the spot on this hill. We have a special menu that we plan that we coordinate. That may be switched out for that episode. But here's a click for the sponsors program. It's a very easy one. That way you go, oh, how was that? Oh, it's at the brunch company sheet. It's all connected. It's top of the level stuff that's connected. Right? Okay, well, virtual reality, top of the level things. Okay, good. Right, gotcha. So we can send information. This is like a pre-code that we did in August, but there's more coming. So, for example, these are 3 reports that we did for the first 3 shows, which is what happened in the first one, after we finished, what happened in the second one, what happened in the third one, the amount of exposure that was collected. You can click on something. This is available for you to look at, right? You go in and it gives you the report. The second event, I presented this. Look at all the clicks and all the stuff that we send out in media, right? The mail outs, and then also, it's not just the event. If Matador Lenders is a sponsor, like I was, and like other folks that are, we blast you out through the episode. Sponsored by Matador Lending, sponsored by Matador Lending. So it's not just, my logo gets put here. Not only that, your logo gets put over here. So as we are putting in people into this deal to be sponsors or to do whatever now, your logo will be presented here, right there, right below, right? So these are all the different layers of engagement that we provide. A lot of solutions. This meeting is 1 hour, and we're looking to solve so many problems in this 1 hour with regards to exposure, with regards to what we have available. All right, so this is the comedy show, right? We also have Jacinto here, who is a professional, what would you call yourself? Aside from the trainer?
The bilingual performer.
Bilingual performer. That's perfect. Hello, it's right there, bilingual performer. Right there. Right there. What do you want performance on? I got it, I can perform, I got it. So he's got another layer of services that I wouldn't provide, right? Which are training sessions of physical activity, nutrition, things of that nature, as well as entertainment, DJing, if you need something like that, or comedic stand-up, somebody that present, things of that nature, is very good at it. Us, premium with the service, we are insurance brokerage for over 15 years. So anytime that you have solutions with regards to insurance, what we typically do is we say, hey, set up your appointment or send us what's called your quote page or your declarations page. Give me the best one. Give me the best one you got. And I will look for the better one. Okay? And if we can't find the better one, then if you can't find the better one, then you get the best one. Right? So we'll give you that additional layer of shopping around where it's like, dude, the client went like this and my guy's giving me this. We gotta fit him in this mortgage, and this is the best one that I can do.
Okay.
Man, I got a team of professionals that we've been doing this for a long time. Let me see what I can do. Send us that, we'll start shopping around.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. So we have, and then not just on personal lines, we also do commercial lines. We do life insurance, auto insurance. We do the whole thing, as well as membership programs that actually start your business. All of our membership programs include your tax preparation, so that you go right. So that you, whatever it is that you are, as your entrepreneur, you're not gonna fall behind. I don't know how my tax preparation. No. Oh, you're trying to get a house, then you gotta file your taxes. Or you want it in 2 years, then you gotta file your taxes.
Right.
And so having that connection with professionals that'll say, hey, these taxes are not gonna buy them that $1 million house. Right? You know what I mean? Where's the bank statement? Where's the bank statement? That way we shorten that process with regards to the information. Okay. So we have many things available with regards to solutions and resources. We have exposure solutions. We have, from you guys, loan solution. We have tax preparation solutions, insurance solutions. What we have is entertainment solutions, health solutions, nutrition solutions, right? I haven't thrown in here.
That's a network, huh?
Yeah.
That is the opportunity that you guys have launched.
You get the marketing. You said your marketing team here a moment ago.
All right, the marketing team just left before you guys talked about another program that we're working on, that we're developing. And so, and on top of that, if you need clothing line and things of that nature, we also have a team of professionals where we have product lines of things that we design. For example, this is mine. I'm sorry. This is from Premium HTX. Where's Jacinto? There you go. My bad. Jacinto's clothing line, things of that nature, right? Jacinto and things like that, right? And so these aid in creating additional layer of connection with regards to the audience, your clients, things of that nature. They understand the message. We help a lot of non-profit organizations and things of that nature for education, for autistic kids. We do it also. We work also with elementary schools, where we also work with the school with a non-profit that aids in college. Kids going to college, gives them a scholarship and things of that nature, things like that. So a broad range. In essence, if you buy one of these shirts, for example, just to start to simplify the process. I have this brand new blog about Benjamin Franklin. If you buy one of these shirts that we have here at the sign, as a small, right? Or what is, you fund schools, you fund artists, you fund, where'd it go? Shoot. Benjamin Franklin. That one. You fund, right. This is essentially the distribution of how it's going to go with regards to that shirt. Wow. Right? So if you have a non-profit, you go, hey, we'll assign your non-profit to this shirt for 1 year. So whatever this shirt makes, you're going to get a percentage of that on the top. You know what I mean?
Really cool,
So not just the one solution, we'll do the podcast. No. Full level network with regards to the situation. We're only going to blast it to our whole audience, all of the Facebook, all of this, all of that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. We're also going to potentially, if you're like, well, I want to make a shirt too, I get to buy a price. Well, no, you want to be a member. You want to add to the much level because we notice that there's so much streamlining to do that people are not doing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show. I mean, I think that. What did you want to add more?
Yeah, no. Go ahead. To the T-shirt, what you were saying, if y'all did, our number one sponsor, superfunkyfresh.com.
Yeah, there we are right there.
So that's it. Go back to the homepage. Super Funky Fresh. Scroll up.
Oh, sorry. Homepage. Good.
So these guys are our number one sponsors. Yeah. That's one of the twins right there. The other one looks just like that.
Did an episode with them a couple of weeks or a month ago.
Yeah. So these are who hosts all of our, and so you can see all of the influencers right there, including myself. So if your company was interested, you could possibly be an influencer as well, and we can create a product line for them as well. So there's so many levels, and that's the thing I feel like, to set yourself apart, whether you're a comedian, a business person, a home lender, is setting yourself apart in this market right now is really difficult.
Yeah, where you go to a business owner, exactly what you're saying, which is, hey, we're not just going to give you this house when you're loaning your business. Yeah. We can hook you up so that you're everywhere. You can connect.
You have to be a non-stop shop now. You can't just be just one.
Let me go here and ask and see how long it's going to take. I'm like, hey, this is
we gotta go now. Everything is right now.
True.
So.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That was actually.
But that's really cool. A lot of, I think, like innovative.
It took
projects.
It took a year's worth of meetings and things of that nature. A year worth of exploring with regards to technology.
Yeah.
Plus, adding the time that we already knew before. This is activating it as opposed to already discussing it before.
Yeah. Well, and it's already getting bigger because we're creating a media company with an app, so that people can watch our comedy show on an app instead of having to deal with television network, which is what we're dealing with right now.
Right.
So
nice.
Yeah.
So I think questions. We asked a lot.
I don't have any questions. I mean, but you're okay with me sending you requests for quotes? Because I'm glad to send referrals. I think that's the biggest way that I can help you guys right now.
So for sure, we're definitely where we're at. We have a. You can either. I wouldn't recommend you guys make an appointment. I'll give you my email. You can say, hey, I need a quote for this. This is the best one.
Yeah.
This is the best one. Can you help me with this one?
Yeah.
No problem. With that page that you have, which gives us the coverage amount, the deductible amount, so we can use the comparable quotes with. We shoot something back that's either hopefully better. That would be our goal to beat.
Okay. I think that's the best way that we could be of service to you.
I gotcha. Well, we're working
right now.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, what we're gonna do is say goodbye to everybody. Hey, right.
Oh my
goodness! What that? Where? Who's where? And then we'll digitize this. We'll throw it out, put it in the channel, even maybe unlist it. Check it out, see what it looks like, and then go, hey, let's do an episode. It's okay. We're not rushing, right?
Right. Of course.
We're trying to get the data, see how it looks, and go from there.
Of course.
See you guys next time. Thanks for being part of this audition process. Cool.